Hello guys, welcome back to the last section on our shell permissions aspects. But this time around, we're not really looking much on permissions, though we'll still talk a bit about it, but we're focusing more on the aspect of changing file ownership and all things super users, those kind of terms. Okay, so we're going to see how to navigate that, and I really need to pay attention well to this video because there's actually no notes, no lecture notes here. So you need to really focus and see what I'm trying to do, because all I'm going to do now is a real practical stuff. And I've made mention of some of the things in the previous video, so you are going to see how they are really working, like practically. Okay, so before I start, let me start by giving you some insights about the current user, which is me, which is this Lexis code you are seeing there. That's I'm the current user now in this interface of this Ubuntu. So if I want to confirm that for myself, I can use this command, who am I? So to tell me who am I, you can see it showed my name, Lexis code. So that's the username I use in registering my Ubuntu when I installed Ubuntu. Okay, so this command is just a way to maybe confirm who the current user is. You know, in your Windows, I think Windows now has that feature of having multiple users to access, whereby you can create two or more accounts in your Windows laptop, whereby I can choose to have my own login, username, and email. Then maybe my brother can use my laptop, but he will just switch the user to his own name. So he switched the user to his own name, and his own desktop screen will change to his own stuff that he has put inside his own desktop file in his own accounts. So that's just something we want to look at now in terms of Linux. So something like that. So right now I'm the current user here. That's the Lexis code. All right, and I can check my ID also. So these IDs are just like different. You can see the group. My group ID is 1000. It's just some kind of like other information that concerns me anyways, that concerns um all the stuff, all the IDs of things I have. Okay, so these are the group ID. If I want to specifically check for the group ID too, or I can just use this command self groups to just show me all the groups I belong in. So these are like all the groups Lexis code belongs in. Okay, then I can say group and add this option, the flag, the G flag. Okay, so this will print only the effective group ID that I belong in, which is the 1000, which is these groups we are seeing here, which is this 1000 here, which is the group ID I belong in. Okay, which is the same thing as still this GID, it means group ID. Okay, while this UID there means user ID, which is same 1000 again. All right, so that's just it about that. Then I can still do something like this, ID capital letter G. So the capital letter G will print all the group IDs. Okay, remember we have, these are my groups here. So now these are the IDs of these groups. So remember when I just did ID, it showed me all the group I am in and also with their IDs together. That's the first thing here up here, the ID. But if I want to do it selectively one by one, I can just type only groups command to show me only the groups, or I can type ID dash ID capital letter G flag to show me only the IDs of the groups. But if you want both of them combined, you can just type only ID, just like you can see in this terminal. Okay, so you can also print only the effective user ID. But my user ID here, UID, is 1000. So we're expected to see 1000. So if I say ID U flag, I can say 1000. So it's still the same 1000. So that's just it about that. So let me go to this directory dev.plus. So let's do something. Let me explain something. Let me focus on one file this time around. So I want to focus on which file should we use? Let's use file dash ab. Okay, so I want to focus my attention on this file underscore ab. All right, so I want to list it to see the features that are there specifically. Okay, so you can, as it's showing me here, it's showing me that the owner, which is me, which is Lexis code, I can read and write, but I can't execute. While others, which are the group and other users, they can only read this file. Okay, So now let's take for example now you can remember there's only one user here, which is Lexis code. Actually by default Linux has a default extra user aside myself that is here. Now let me just take it to that place. If I want to go to that user now, I'll say sudo dash I. So I will use the I flag. If I say sudo dash I to take me to the other user. So this one is showing me, okay, ask for Lexis password. Let me put my password to be sure that I want to switch to that root user. So this is the root user. I can see the change in the name here. It's no longer Lexis code that is there, it's the root that is there. So this root is the default extra user that always comes along with our Linux, okay? Aside from the normal one that you first registered with, like just for my own case now, it was Lexis code I use. So this is the root. This is another user now that I'm inside, which is the root user. Now, if you watch this file AB that I listed here, the ls-l, if you notice, we have Lexis code here and we also have Lexis code here. Okay, so the first Lexis code here is for the owner, while the second Lexis code here is for the group. Okay, it's for the group. Why this 0 means no user? Remember this these share permissions are in theories, like they are broken down into three separate meanings. So the first three is for the owner, the other three is for the group, the last three is for users as the other users. So the same thing happens here. So the first Lexis code is telling that I'm the owner, it's telling that I'm also in the group of the same Lexis code, which is still myself. And the aspect of the user, I don't have any user that is using this, any extra user that are using it. So that's why it is 0 here. Okay. So now I'm inside another account now, which is the root account. I'm no longer in the Lexis code account, but I'm still using the same system, the same operating system. Okay, just like if you are using the same laptop in the Windows and your brother log in his own account, in his own Windows account there, using the same laptop. Alright, so that's just what I'm doing now. So I'm in my root account right now. If I say cd, let me just cd dots. Okay, now if you notice, if you remember the other time, like there was one of my videos whereby I was trying to, I think it was still the same within this share permission. I think the first video when I did cd roots, when I was still in Lexis code and I couldn't access this roots directory. So because I wasn't given the right to access it. It's only the root user that can access it. So now since I'm already in the root user account now, so if I say cd roots, it should be able to, you can see I can access it and I can see whatever is inside, and there's actually nothing inside. So you can see I could access the cd roots easily like this. Okay, so that's why I could access it like that. And I think I can access everything that is here, since I'm in the main admin, the root aspect of the whole Linux itself. Okay, so I can make modification of many things inside here that I may not be able to do if I'm using the normal Lexis code user account. So I can choose to leave this place. Let me just exit. So you use the exit command to leave, to go back to the normal user account that you have, which is the Lexis code. Okay, so now I want us to particularize something. So let me do ls-l. Let me still list the same file, ab stuff. Okay, now so let's do something. I want to okay, you know, I was the one that created this file ab. Okay, so I was the one that created this file ab, which means I am actually the current owner of this file. That is the read, write, and dash, the first three. I am the current owner, which is the first Lexis code here, which means I'm the current owner. Now I can choose to change the owner of this same file. Okay, now me changing the owner of this same file will mean that, in short, since all of them are showing read here, okay, I want to remove this read I'm seeing for the group and the other users. Let me first remove that read. I don't want that read to be there. So for me to remove the read for the group and other users. So I want to remove the read. Okay, so I'm using the symbolic method here and I'm doing it. So that's file AB. So let me do the ls-l to confirm if the changes has been made. So file AB. Let me see the permission. Okay, good. So I've locked everything for the group and the other users. Okay. So it's only the owner that can read and write. So let me just add extra execute there also. Okay, so let me just add execute for the owner again. So I will just say chmod. The owner wants him to be able to execute the file AB. Okay. So ls-l file AB. Okay. So now what I want to do now, I want to change the user. Like I want to change the owner. Okay, so I'm the current owner of this file because I was the one that created this file. Okay, so now I want to change the owner to be someone else. So for me to change the owner, the command that we use is sudo change chown. Okay, so it's just the short way. So sudo chown, or like change ownership. Okay, then myself, that is the current owner. Wait, sorry, chmod change some file. No, I think I'm supposed to write the owner, the file that I want to change, as in the owner of the file that I want to give the new right to. Okay, so I will now write the name of the file itself, which is file AB. Okay, yeah, I believe that's it. So let me click enter to confirm this. Okay, it didn't show any error. Now it means that I can't list this file. I think that's what it means now, because I'm no longer the owner of this file. Remember, we locked this whole thing here for the other users and for the group. It means I'm in the other user now. I'm not the owner, which means I can't read, write, and execute this file. The only person that can do this read, write, and execution of file is only the root owner. The root, okay. So let's just try it first. Let me see if I can read the file. I think read is the cat's command. Okay, permission denied. You can see I can't read the file because I'm no longer the owner of the file, and I can't write the file, which means I can't use Emacs. I can't use VI to write the file, and also I can't execute the file. That's what it means. So they have denied me of the permissions to do all those stuff in this particular file. Okay, so now let me go to, remember I changed the ownership to root owner. So the root account is the owner of this file now that can do anything to it. So now let's switch to that root account. So I will just do the usual sudo -i. Another way of doing this sudo -i to take it to the default root account. You can say sudo -. Okay, so either of those two would work for you. So you can see I'm in the roots now. So let me do one page up so you can see stuff from up better. Okay, yeah, that's what I want to do. So you can see what we are doing clearly like this. Good. So now I'm in the roots parts now. Let me just see the dots ls. Okay, now I want to find that file. I think that file should be in my home. Then inside the Lexis code. Then inside dev.plus. Okay, this is the file, your file ABC. Okay, so now let's see if I can read this file since I'm in the roots, which means I'm now the new owner. So let's see if indeed that permission will work for me. So file AB. Okay, it actually worked for me. The reason we didn't see anything is because I just remember I haven't put any content there. So let me write to the file. Let me just use the echo. some content file AB. Okay, so again, cat file AB. So you can see, so it's because I've changed the ownership of that file to another account user. So that's what I did here. That's why I can access it easily. But the other people, which are like the other users, which I made myself the other user, no longer the owner. Remember, the owner, I've switched the owner to the root. Okay, so I can choose to give permission to other users so that myself can also read this file. Okay, so I can just choose to do the ch mode here and say, okay, I want to grant access for other user, which that is where I belong. I want them to be able to read this file. So that's file AB. Okay, so if I let me do ls-l to confirm file AB. So I've given the read permission access for other user, which means you can see even this place has changed to root, as in this first place, which means the owner is now the root. Okay, so that's just what it means there. But I'm still within the group here also, so I'm still within the group here. So that's just how to set features for different. So that's what we've been seeing in that last video, especially where we're talking about how to restrict some files, how to restrict some directories. So these are the advantage of all those things we are actually doing. So that if, for example, now someone wants to use, like for example, now I have one Ubuntu software on my laptop. I want to use the Ubuntu to do my things, and one of my friends comes to take my laptop. I want to also use the same Ubuntu. I can't allow the person to use the same Lessons Code account that I'm using in my Ubuntu. So the person will have to create his own account inside this Ubuntu. So that's what will happen. So the person will then switch to his own account and be doing his own work in his own account. So it won't scatter my own account. So that's just the advantage of all of this. And because the person will switch to his own account, he will still have access to my own account, though, just like the way I still have access to this dev.plus here. Okay, but then that's why I need to put restrictions, so that even when the person have access to it, the person may not be able to open it, or may not be able to change it or do anything concerning it, since he's not the owner of that file. I don't know if you get the scenario now. So that's just the whole essence of what we are doing here. Okay, so this is like the practical live aspect of doing this, because remember, Linux is something that it has a remote computer, so we can be working with more than one user using the same terminal itself. So don't think as if you are the only one that will be using the terminal. You can have multiple users using that same terminal as you. So you have to know how to be flexible and be conscious about all your permissions and everything, so that someone will not scatter things for you. So that's just the essence about all of this. Anyways, let me switch back the ownership to Lessons Code again. So if I switch it, I'll say sudo, don't forget the command, sudo change own, then the username of the person I want to change the ownership to for the file. Then I'll put the file name, which is file AB. So I've switched back the ownership now back to myself. If I do ls-l and the file name, and let's see the information, you can see I'm back as Lessons Code as the owner, no longer this root that was the previous owner. So which means I have access to do all those other things I want to do in the file. So let me just exit, and if I go to that file now, I should be able to read it. So if I see cat file AB, you can see I can now read it now, because I already moved the permission back to myself in terms of the ownership aspect. All right, so that's just how to play around all of this. And well, what we've done now, I just explained this using two accounts. I use my normal user account, my Lessons Code, then I use the default extra user account that comes with Ubuntu, I think with Linux too generally. Okay, so aside from that, now let's create our own. Let's say, for example, now my friend wants to use the same Ubuntu now, so the person, I can't expect to be using root or to be using the Lessons Code. So the person has to create his own personal username, right? So that now let's see how to go about that. Let me scroll this up a bit. Okay, so I don't want the screen to be too congested. Okay, now so let's take for example I want to create a new account in the same operating system again. Remember, we already have Lexis Code, we already have the default root account. So I want to create a third one, maybe a friend that wants to use my Ubuntu or something like that. So now to create the account, so I will just use this command. I think that's the sudo add user. Okay, so you put sudo add user. So I want to add a new user now to this operating system. Now I have to put then the name of the user. So the user will put his own username. Let me name this one. What should I name it now? I'll just name it Lexis. Okay. So remember my normal one is Lexis code. So this one is Lexis. Enter. So I'm adding a new user now called Lexis. So it will ask me to put my new password, just like the way you saw this stuff when you first install Ubuntu. You ask you to put your password. So let me just quickly put the password. I just type in the password. You already know that Ubuntu won't review the password out, so but it's already inside. So I'll click enter. I'll confirm the password again. Type it again. Now click enter. So it's asking me to put my full name. Or if I leave it, if I click enter to set the default name for me. So I can just choose to put anything there or just click enter to set the default Lexis for me. Room number, I don't need it. Enter. Work phone number, you can put a phone number. Where to me, I don't want to put it. So let me just ignore all of this and click enter. So is the information correct? Yes, which is why. Enter. So now I've actually created another account, which is Lexis. So now let's see how to move to that account. So if I want to move to that account, I'll just say so I think so Lexis. Then to ask me for the password of Lexis. Okay. So that is if I want this, what I'm doing now, I'm switching between users. So if I want to switch between users, so I will say I'll use the su command, then the name of the account. So su Lexis. So to ask me for the password of this Lexis. Okay. So since I already know the password, so I'll just put in the password. Enter. You can see now I'm in the Lexis. You can see this is Lexis now, no longer Lexis code. So I'm now in the other account right now. So that's it. ls. You can see even if I do that ls-l file ab, let's see the permission. Remember, I'm a normal user now, which means I can't write this file. Okay, though I can read it because I'm still, since I'm a normal user and I'm already given the permission to read. So that means the cat will still work if I do file ab. You can see I can still see the content, but I can't write anything in it. So I think let's try it. If I say emacs file ab, file is right. Note what is written here. File is right protected, which means I can't type anything here. You can see, you can hear that sound. So I'm trying to type, I can't type anything here at all. So that's how bad it is, which means like I don't have access to write anything there at all. So let me just exit here. So I'll do Ctrl S, Ctrl C. So you can see that I can't write there. Okay. And also I can't execute. That's the last X there. I can't execute. All right, but I can read the file. That's why I could at least see the content there. That when I entered Emacs, it showed me the content that is inside, which is some content, right? Or if I use this card to view it, which is show me this some content. That's why I could see that. All right. Assuming the read is also logged. That means even this Emacs that I wrote here, this Emacs file AB will not even open at all for me to show me access denied. Okay, so the only reason it's open now is because of the read is enabled for other users. That means I can read the file, which means I can see the content, which is some content. That's why it's open for me. So just get that straight. All right, so I'm in the Lexis code. I can choose to then maybe switch back to the Lexis code. Okay, so to switch back, what's the command? Sudo Lexis code. So for switching, don't forget just su, su and the user name. Okay, so su Lexis code. So I'm going to put my password for the other main account. So you can see I'm back to Lexis code. Okay, so that's it about all of this whole aspect of the change in file ownership and knowing where and recognizing which user is using the file. I mean using those who am I, the stuff I did earlier, and laying out those ID commands. So all those stuffs are necessary to know. Okay, so just similarly the same way we added user, the same way you can add groups also. Okay, so you can add groups by using the sudo add group command. Then you put the name of the group, whatever name you want to name the group. Okay, so that's how to add group and give all those kind of permission stuff. Okay, so you can get a group of people to work on certain things, so all of them will have the access of that group password in a way. Okay, so just like how you can create each files and it has ownership permission, it has group permissions, that's other user permission, so you can choose to restrict group permission also. That's if you're working in your own personal accounts, like for example now this is my own account which is Lexis Code. That I can put restrict permissions for group and also for other users, so that even if I'm working with other groups, they won't be able to access my own personal files or be able to delete it at all. Okay, remember when we were talking about if it's in the directory now, directory has its own read and write, but its own read R means ls, which means listing, while the write means the access of you deleting or creating the contents inside the file, okay, or adding or moving, all those kind of stuff. So that's what that write means. Why the last part is the execution part, which is like making cd command possible to use. So you can check those previous lecture if you've not watched them, so you really get to understand that very well. So that's just it about this concept of the video. So this is how to also add group. Okay, so you can add group in that way, and you can also change group ownership also. So let's say you've already created a new group, then you want to change the ownership of the file of that new group. Okay, so just like when we did, let me just save the dev.plus. So when we did something like ls-l file ab, you can say this Lexis code first is for the owner, this other Lexis code is for the group aspect. So I'm a group of my own, that's why I'm using Lexis code here. Doesn't mean I create another group now. Okay, so as mean I create another group. Remember the command for creating another group which I explained earlier, that was sudo add group. So sudo add group, then put the name of the group, then I can choose to then change the group owner of this file. So if I want to change the group owner of this file, the command I'm going to use is actually chgrp. Okay, then the name of the group, I think then I wanted to name it group 1, then the file which is file ab. So this will change the group owner. So that's what it will do. So instead of Lexis code being here in this second place as the group, next time whenever we view this file ab, we will be seeing group 1 here. So that's just it. So all the concept I used in explaining the aspect of file ownership changing, you can use it to play around with group ownership changing also. So both of them are still the same concept, so I don't want to just go over it again using group. Okay, so just get this straight. So I believe that is it about that in as far as this video is concerned. I hope you understand this concept very well. All right, so take care. Do have a lovely day. Bye.